Today I'll show you some of the transfers because that's very important. You need to realize that you do have the ability to get in and out of vehicles, and you can get in and out of situations, in and out of bathtubs, in and out of things. And there are some techniques. There are some techniques that you really, once you're aware of them, I think that might help you out. And I think what really helped me out a lot is just being able to see somebody else in my situation do something, and just to visually see it, it gave me encouragement and kind of an understanding of the techniques involved in doing that. So we'll go through some of the physical things involved in transferring something, which is really important in society, a very mobile society. You want to be able to get around and move around, and I think especially if you want to be able to get to work and do work, create your opportunities, mobility is very important. Okay, right now we're kind of in the back room in my place of business, and in back here I have a weight machine, and I'd just like to give you a little demonstration on how I hop in it and use it. I try to get on it a couple times a week and kind of work out. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's important to keep the muscles you do have, keep them in good shape. I've been in a wheelchair over 25 years, and I try to just use what I have and keep it in good shape, and really, you want to stay as healthy as you can. And this always helps in transferring. If you can keep what muscles you have in good shape, keep your strength up, the transfers, of course, are going to be easier for you. So I'm going to hop into the weight machine and just do a couple things that I would normally do to kind of keep the muscles toned up. I'm going to go through a series of different transfers today in different situations, and I'm just going to describe kind of the procedures I go through and some of the different things I try to consider and think about as I'm making the transfer. One of the key things, or most important things, and I'll probably say this throughout the video, is really in leg placement and where you put your legs. I think that you really think of them as kind of a leverage point and a balancing point, and they play a very important role, at least for me, in the transferring process. And also I look at, where do you put your arms and grab stability that way. With the C67, I don't really have any trunk muscles from here on down, so I do all my balancing with my head and my arms. So there's a lot of, you kind of use your arms a lot to keep yourself stable, and also you use your legs also. They play a very important role. So in this situation, I would kind of pull up to it, and sometimes closer is not always better. During the process, there's that one point. It's kind of almost like when the shuttle's returning, there's a point to no return. When you're coming in for a landing, you really need to make it, you just kind of hit it. I will position my hands, and I make sure I usually get one foot in. In this situation, every situation is sort of different, so you kind of size it up. And I'd like to add that in the transferring process, while you're transferring, the first time it's always a little difficult, and you always kind of develop the skill or the technique. By the third, fourth, or fifth time, it gets a lot easier. So don't get discouraged if it feels awkward. Just try it a little different, try different things. So in this situation, I'd probably go like this, and I'll edge myself to the end of the seat, and then I'll it's all in position. My leg's kind of resting against here. I got one leg here, and I'm kind of sitting, it's kind of wedging here, and then I kind of make the jump onto the chair. So I'm positioning myself here, I kind of grabbing different things. I make a move, and once you get it down pat, you can usually go pretty quick. So now if you look at the situation I'm in a really tight quarters here, so I don't have a lot of space around me. So you have to sort of work with that. Again, I get my feet in position. I'm hanging on to something for stability. My feet are actually giving me stability. I get where I want to go. I'm going to lift this up and move this leg over, and position my feet, and I'm on the exercise machine. And we'll do a number of exercises. And again, this is building and keeping the muscles toned up, which really aids in transferring. So you try to do a number of different exercises, pull downs, and a variety of things that just try to work whatever muscles you have. Again, I've got good biceps and good triceps. I've got good biceps on this arm. My triceps are pretty weak on this arm. And generally, you'll find that you transfer one way a little better than another. And that all has to do with positioning your chair when you make the transfer. It becomes like a second nature. And what I think about is, I used to think that the transferring process was a real hassle, and I mean it is sometimes a real challenge. But I think of it like individuals have to get up out of a chair and stand up and walk, and what we do is we do the transfer. Okay, and I'm going to transfer back into the chair. I bring the chair, I kind of position it where I think I'm going to make the transfer into the chair. I lock the chair wheels. I get ready for my position. I got a place to sort of put my head if I need to. I got my shoulders going to hit on that a little bit as I transfer to sort of stabilize me. And I transfer into the chair. So you kind of use the parts of your body, you lean it on different things, and that comes with after doing it a few times. You really need to do it a couple times, and you kind of learn how to make that transfer if it's a common transfer that you do on a regular basis. Again, small area into kind of a complicated looking device here, but hopping in and out of it goes pretty quick.